Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, the leader in e-commerce accounting. And I'm starting a new series today about all the different solutions for e-commerce sellers with respect to everything else in your business, because we know that not everything has to do with accounting. A lot of business has to do with, delivering products to customers and things like that. So I'm going to just start a series and talk about the different things that we know, all the different research we've done for our clients and others on different things that make your business what your business is. So today we're going to talk about sales tax tools, because that is the hot topic from everybody. If you have been living under a rock, you need to go watch these videos right here, because this is like the hot topic now. Things are changing fast and furiously, and if you're going to be filing sales tax in any or all states, you need to get a sales tax tool to help you out. So this is what we're going to talk about today, and let's get started. All right, so the big three players are Avalara, TaxJar, and Taxify. Before we talk about those, though, I want to say that there are actually two things that we need to pay attention to. One is collecting the right amount of sales tax, and the other is remitting and filing your sales tax returns after you have your sales tax collected. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about with respect to collecting is the sales tax engines. So many marketplaces and shopping carts and all those guys, they will collect sales tax for you, but some of the ones like eBay, basically they say, how much sales tax would you like us to collect? And you put in a flat number like, I don't know, 6%. But 6% is not the sales tax rate in all of the states or all of the counties and cities and whatnot. So it's a rough estimate that allows you to collect at least some of the sales tax, but it is by no means spot on helpful in all situations. All right. There are other shopping carts that will have like a table. So maybe it'll have like a list of all the states, and you can enter in amounts state by state. It may or may not be updated for you. And again, it's more helpful than not, but really the most helpful thing is to get a sales tax engine. And TaxJar, Taxify, Avalara, they all have a sales tax engine. There are another dozen or more companies beyond that that also do the same thing, where you basically attach it to your WordPress site, WooCommerce, Shopify, whatever you have, and it will calculate the sales tax for you based on, depending on the sales tax engine. Sometimes they'll do it based on what the product is, but certainly based on where the customer is, what the rules are for the different states and things like that. So Avalara is by far and away like the big player in that arena. They've been around like forever, and they've got really great information. They've got lots of information on product taxability. They've got lots of information on the different rates in the different states and jurisdictions, counties, cities, and all that. So pretty much all of the shopping carts will have a connection to Avalara, and in some cases it may be their only one. So like for BigCommerce, when you sign up to sell on BigCommerce, they will by default just have you on the Avalara system, and you can just use Avalara for low volumes of sales. Once you hit a certain threshold, which I don't know what that threshold is, but once you start picking up and selling in greater volumes, basically you need to sign up with Avalara and start paying them to use their sales tax engine. And they charge like on a per transaction basis. So they charge pennies or whatever every time you sell a product. You're using that sales tax engine to calculate the amount of sales tax you need to collect. You do not have to use the same sales tax engine as you are filing. So you could have Avalara calculating your sales tax, and you can be filing using TaxJar or Taxify or something else. All right, so let's talk about filing your sales tax returns. Like I said, there are basically three big players. Let's talk about Avalara first. Avalara has two main products. They've got AvaTax and they've got Avalara Trust File. AvaTax is really for accounting departments for big companies that are selling all over the place. It's it's super robust. Like think along the lines of Xero or QuickBooks Online compared to NetSuite. Like AvaTax is that next suite level of sales tax calculation. So it's super robust. It's really great. It comes with a big ticket price. So you can use it. It's really expensive, but it'll give you good results. However, it does not connect to all the different shopping carts that are out there. It doesn't connect to Amazon and Shopify and BigCommerce and Magento and all of those. So for an e-commerce seller, it's expensive and it requires a lot of manual work. So it's really not playing in the same space as TaxJar, Taxify, and Avalara TrustFile. So this is why they created Avalara TrustFile. It's been around for a few years, like 4 or 5 years, about the same as TaxJar and Taxify. And Avalara TrustFile, the good news on that one is that it connects to all the different shopping carts and Amazon and Shopify, Magento, and all that stuff. The bad news is that from a technological perspective, like from just their ability to manipulate data and things, they're quite a bit behind TaxJar and Taxify. They just have never quite caught up to them. So for example, like Amazon, when you're pulling down information from Amazon, Amazon will keep all the addresses related to the wedding registries and baby registries and things like that in a separate database. So when Avalara TrustFile pulls that information down, it doesn't have those addresses. And so it will just assign the addresses to wherever your company is, which is obviously not correct. So the accuracy of the information you're getting out of TrustFile just isn't super great. Now, let me just say that these tools and all the tools that you see, all the cloud tools that are out there, they are developing like crazy. Like they're just evolving over time. So anything I'm telling you today may or may not actually be accurate like tomorrow. So you need to check in with these different companies and make sure that I'm giving you good information. But based on what we've seen, the last time we looked at Avalara was about 9 months ago. And every time we look at it, we check it out a couple of times a year for the past several years. And it just never quite has information that's as accurate and up to date as TaxJar and Taxify. So honestly, we don't even really consider it as an option for our clients. But I will say that as a company, Avalara is really great. And I mean, if they could like combine AvaTax and their TrustFile products together to create something really good for Amazon sellers or, e-commerce sellers in general, it would be amazing, but it's just not there yet. So, but Avalara as a company, they've got lots of experience. They've been around the longest. They have great resources online. They've got lots of educational resources. I would definitely check out their blog. So, so they're great. They're just not helpful yet for e-commerce sellers, in my opinion. The next one I want to talk about is TaxJar. TaxJar is the most set and forget system of the three. If you have like a standard e-commerce business, one that's just selling on Amazon or just on Shopify or just a couple of different channels like that, and you don't have anything funky going on, it's a really great tool, especially I think if you have TaxJar as your sales tax engine and as your filing system, because one of the issues with TaxJar is it will only file information based on the sales tax that it calculates. It's not going to file it based on what you collect. So if you're using tables or something for your sales tax engine, if you're using tables instead, and you're just kind of estimating your sales tax, you're not going to be able to remit what you collected. You're going to remit what you calculate. So there might be a discrepancy. You might have to come out of pocket for some of that sales tax, which nobody likes to do. So, so that's not ideal, but it's understandable. So if you have sales tax engine and the filing system being the same, and it's a standard system and you don't have anything funky, like any tax exempt stuff or product taxability stuff that's like products that are exempt, then it's a really good system. The one other issue that we had is we have so many clients who come to us and they're just like, okay, I was supposed to be filing sales tax like 6 months ago or a year ago, and I want to get caught up on those. Let's go back in time and pay the penalties and interest and stuff. TaxJar doesn't allow you to do that. So if like you need to go back in time, you're going to have to either do all that stuff by hand or whatever. They can't go back. They're only going forward. So if you're like a brand new company and you're like starting off clean and you're straightforward, like TaxJar is actually a really good bang for the buck and worth your while checking out. It's a really good company from the sense that like they have their finger on the pulse of both e-commerce and sales tax, and they've got some great information in their blog. So I would definitely follow them at a minimum. So the last system I want to talk about is Taxify. Taxify is actually the system that we use. When we were looking for a system to use like 4 or 5 years ago, they were the only ones that filed in all 50 states, and they gave us PDF copies of the returns. They gave us payment confirmations. I think TaxJar does all that stuff now. I think TaxJar just started filing in all 50 states like last year, July of 2017, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. But years ago, like we needed a solution right away, and Taxify like did all that. They're also a lot more flexible. So we have a lot of clients who not only do they sell on these different shopping carts, but they may have some business to business sales which are exempt from tax. And we can tweak the information based on the orders. We can edit the sales tax returns themselves before they actually get filed. So they're a lot more flexible. We really care about accuracy, and so we make sure that we have a system that we can kind of jerry-rig if we need to, if the data's not cooperating. So that's really why we use Taxify. The other thing is you can go back in time and file historical returns. So the system's really great for that. So like I said, things change on a dime, so check out all these different companies. The prices are pretty comparable no matter which system you use, whether it's Avalara Trust File, TaxJar, or Taxify. But they do have sliding scales based on your volume. So if you have just a little bit of volume, you'll pay a smaller fee. If you have a lot of volume, you'll pay a higher fee. So you'll have to check out the pricing based on your own personal situation. You can't tell, like I can't give general advice on what's most cost effective. It's all kind of generally around the same ballpark. But hopefully this video helped you kind of narrow down some of the issues that you might be having and things that you're looking for. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.